Mr. Ravi Gupta, Mr. Anup Verma, members of the dais and delegates to the IT Secure 4th Annual Conference. When Mr. Anup Verma came to me for an tete-a-tete with me on the organization which I head today, he wanted to know, I wanted to know from him, why does he want me in this IT Secure seminar or the conference? After talking to him for quite some time, I was convinced that basically most of the security which is needed is the physical security of all the IT equipment and infrastructure, the software and the hardware which you have in your premises. I don't have a structured program or a structured thing to tell you, but I'll share with you as a practicing policeman and an intelligence officer working for very long years in Jammu and Kashmir operations, that some of the practical problems which we faced when we were going after the terrorists or the militants of that area. In 1995, most of the communication which was with the people who were against us was basically a small mobile or a small VHF sets which was easily monitored. But by the time it graduated to 2001 and 2002, we found that most of the criminal elements and most of the terrorists are using the internet, are using certain things which could not be followed by us. The usage of the voice over internet protocol, when we found for the first time in Kashmir, I remember we did not know what to do with it because we did not have any solutions to it. And that's why, as an intelligence bureau officer, we went to certain people who were knowledgeable about how to track all these things. Now it has become much and much more established as far as their tracking is concerned. Most of the last 15 to 20 years of militancy and the terrorist movements which are going on, which emanated in Jammu and Kashmir and parts of Northeast, and had its reverberations in the hinterland in our capital, in Gujarat, in Bombay, we found that most of these things are emanating from our neighbors. And that's how the border becomes very important. The border security becomes very important. And that's where the physical border security becomes very important. The organization which I head, which is now called the Sashastra Seema, is now celebrating 50 years of its inception. In 1963, after the Chinese aggression, an organization, the committee which went into the reasons for the debacle of our response to the Chinese aggression, it was found that most of the border populations we did not care for at that point of time, and there was a lot of subversion, and the information which was all along the border could not be at the right time taken by us. The signals could not be taken by us, and the aggression took place. The government of India at that point of time decided that as an intelligence organization and as a border security organization, living along with the border population, we must have some sort of an organization which can live and try to know about what is happening in the border. The Special Services Bureau. At that point of time, the Special Services Bureau, the SSB, was formed under the Cabinet Secretariat. The role of the earlier setup of the Special Services Bureau was basically to live along with the border population. There was this perception amongst most of the people in the army and in the intelligence organization that we need to care for the border population, we need to look after them and do things for them so that they could be a good informative system for anything on the borders. The role of the SSB was basically to be with the border population, help them out in medical and veterinary arrangements, and also try to take the border population and mingle around with the mainstream of the Indian milieu. Later on, it was realized most of these units which came up in the SSB at that point of time was basically in Jammu and Kashmir, in Himachal Pradesh, in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and in West Bengal, mostly on the borders of China and in certain areas in Jammu and Kashmir and Pakistan. In 1999, it was realized that there has to be some organizational change which needs to be put in this organization. The Padmanabhaiah committee went into this and found out that there are certain things which are very important for this organization to survive. But there are other things which also needs to be bolstered. Most of the terrorists who are being caught in Jammu and Kashmir and in the hinterland, whenever we interrogated them, whenever we tried to intercept them, most of the information which came that they were coming from either from Nepal, they used to come from Pakistan to Nepal or from Bangladesh to Nepal and then into India, and bring all sorts of things like arms and ammunition, new methods of communication and others. After that, the Kargil war happened, and in the group of ministers it was realized that this entire 1751 kilometers of the border with Indo-Nepal and Indo-Bhutan, which was earlier not manned, should be manned because this has become porous and most vulnerable as far as our country was concerned. The interrogations of most of these people who came from Pakistan through Bangladesh or through Nepal, we found that it was the embassy in Nepal and in Bangladesh of Pakistan which was trying to do all this. In the group of ministers, it was also realized that one border should be given to one force and the lead intelligence agencies should also be given to one agency, so that if anything happens or any leak happens from that border, it could be pinpointed on that agency. The SSB was then christened as the Sashastra Seema Bal, and later on it became the Armed Forces of the Union and came under the MHA from the Cabinet Secretariat. Today, we are manning around 1751 kilometers of the border on Indo-Nepal and around 600 kilometers of the border in Indo-Bhutan. And let me tell you that from the time when we have been there, it is only about 10 years in this new mandate or new role which we are doing, that most of the leakages, most of the ingression of most of these people which were coming has come down. As far as how we see this organization to grow and how we see this organization to maximize its role in a border guarding duties as far as a friendly country is concerned, we think that technology will come handy for doing this. And that's what we are trying to introduce, that technology is going to be more than the physical presence of our soldiers there. We have started in a very small way, and we have tried, and the government is forthcoming as far as our existence on these borders are concerned. And we have found that technology is capable of giving us more and more information, more and more surveillance capabilities as far as the border guarding duties of this force is concerned. Talking to experts who come from IT field, I have realized that in the last 20 years, we are very fond of getting new equipment into our organization. Whatever new comes, we just go and buy it off the shelf. And as the general had just has said, that we don't even try to know what are the vulnerabilities of this new equipment which we are taking. Today, more and more consciousness has come in and has come into the organization, into the government. The data is much more secure, and we have experts coming and advising us as far as data security is concerned. And as far as you know, that the MHA is trying to implement that CCTNS program, which is going to be very, very helpful in the times to come. But the man behind the machine has to be also talented, because the usage of that CCTNS or the hardware or the software which goes with it will have to be done in such a manner that we can maximize our own output as far as security agencies is concerned. I once again thank Mr. Ravi Gupta and the organizers of IT Secure 2013 for giving me this opportunity to at least talk to you about an organization of what we are trying to do, and tell you that there exists something on the ground as far as Indo-Nepal or Indo-Bhutan is concerned. Thank you very much.